let's decenter men out of
Yes.
female friendship stories. Let's decenter men from female friendship stories.
That's a mic drop. I need you to show up.
Right.
To show up and be me. Just be talent, all the things.
Right.
But anyways.
You want to live a life of luxury. Everybody else can do it.
Everybody else is doing it. Like, when is it my turn? But ebbs and flows. Because let me not act like, it's not going to happen. But anyways.
Your Aries can't help it, though. And your Virgo can't help it. So
Aries and Virgo
really, you just lied, actually.
Girl, the shade of it all.
So you're a liar, basically. That's what we.
Oh, don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! The Aries in me refuses to accept liar as a part of me. No.
I may be this, but I am not that. Like, we just act up. I think you bring that out of me. Because, people tend to see me in a very polished state. But I think
ma'am.
you're the very few people that can get me to act up.
My girl is loud, proud, and everything when she's around me. And I love it. I love to bring that out of everybody. Because we need to be this way. So I'm here for it. But let me get to my questions, because we on a time crunch, so we got to get into the bulk of the conversation. So I sent you like 55 different questions, and you and I had this sisterhood conversation in more of a general life sense. Once again, bringing back the word eons ago. I think 2021, 2022.
Yeah, it was right around the pandemic era. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am, everybody. Another time when shit was popping the fuck off. Anyway, in this new era that I feel like we're both in, because I feel like we always go through different eras. We're not the same people we were back in 2021. So I wanted to ask you, from that conversation about sisterhood to today, has things changed? Has things evolved? And you don't even have to like fully remember what you talked about specifically in our conversation, but just remembering the space you were in at that time versus today.
Sisterhood taught me how much of myself I was hiding. Because, growing up as a baby blossom with two pigtails with glitter on them, and you might catch me with an Indian bindi in the middle of my head. But I was bullied a lot because I was misunderstood until I discovered that I'm a bit of a wordsmith, and, my mouth can be lethal. So I started people with my words.
Fire back.
And then as a young woman, I started building my own community, hence the Blossom Cousins, the Blossom Tribe. That's where that all derived from, right? So I'm building that, but at the same time, I'm still feeling adjacent to community instead of like feeling rooted into it. And then even later, professionally, even currently, I found myself in incredible rooms, amazing spaces, where I believed I found sisterhood. But then I came to this starking reality that, okay, in a lot of these spaces, I've been professionally celebrated, but not personally understood or accepted. And at some point I realized, okay, wait, but I'm waiting for them to identify when I'm not being considered, when I'm not being cared for, when I'm feeling like I'm still like outside of their life looking in. When have I actually let anyone understand my boundaries or how I feel? The rich experience of what we call sisterhood. That has been a scary realization for me.
Yeah.
It has, because when you've been hurt, being guarded starts to feel like wisdom in a sense. But it isn't always wisdom. Sometimes it's just grief wearing a really cute outfit.
Period. The outfit is
and I had to, but I had to learn the difference. So, the more I thought about this in terms of like how sisterhood has changed since I've evolved and I've grown, actually this one still hurts, cousin, because, and we talk about this all the time, but I really thought that sisterhood was proximity. We go to school together, sisterhood.
Yes.
We work together, sisterhood. We're in the same acting class or whatever class together, sisterhood. We're in the same cohort. So we cool, sisterhood. But no, that's community that I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Sisterhood is that it's consistency. Someone remembering that I have rods in my back and saying, your backpack looks heavy. Let me carry that for you.
Let me help you.
Right. Celebrating your wins without secretly comparing them to theirs. That's another one. And then the wrong thing, it has to be measured by how safe you are just to simply be around you.
Yeah.
Most of my deepest friendships today aren't necessarily the oldest. They're just the ones that have made room for every version of me. So, gratitude to you, JoiAshanti. Gabriel, Brandon, Morgan, Khadijah, Kirsten, Trey, Eliza, my sister Diamond. These are the relationships, and some of these people that I named live in a whole different country.
One of my best friends lives in Spain.
We talked about that. But yeah, I was saying that, what I appreciate about these relationships that necessarily haven't been, around for a long time is that you guys just don't celebrate me for being the actress, the journalist, the producer, the me that's thriving, the me that's grieving, the me that you guys also celebrate, the me that sometimes feels like an absolute failure, the me that has intense, sensory overload anxiety. The me that sometimes say, pluck sisterhood, and then cry about wanting sisterhood the next day. Like, it's just the parts of me that are deep and vulnerable, and not always polished.
Yes.
And so I'm grateful for that.
I felt that. Yeah, the unpolished part for me is a lot bigger now than it was when we last had the conversation. I think before I was like, I want someone that's like fully accepting or whatever, but I think sisterhood is literally like the time spent with me on my worst day is still valuable to you as the time spent with me on my best. There's still love there. There's still the same respect there. There's still the same courtesy. There's still the same consideration. There's still the acknowledgement of like, okay, you're human. You don't have to show up for me perfect. And I think a lot of where what I've labeled as sisterhood, where it's failed a lot, is when I wasn't able to show up as the perfect version that you try to put on all the time. Because that's another thing. It's like I always try to show up best for my friends as well. So it's like, it's always about reciprocity. So I'm like, right, if you're showing up for me, I have to show up for you. However, there's also times where I may not be able to show up for you the way you need me to, but that's where communication comes in. And I think that's where the sisterhood fails, that people aren't willing to have the hard conversations about whether you didn't show up for me and that hurt my feelings because I'm human and I was having my own issues at this time. Or, hey, what you said during this time really bothered me. Can we just talk about it real quick? And then being open to having the conversation and not just defensive or saying, well, I have all this other stuff going on. You know what I'm going through right now. Like, I can't speak. Like, where's the calm maturity? Let's just say, like, hey, like, this is coming from a place of love. I'm not attacking you. I'm not trying to say that you're a bad person. I'm just trying to have an honest conversation. So I think sisterhood really is now like staying with me in the ugly just as much as you're going to stay with me in the pretty. So totally heard. I want to pull it back to Baby Blossom with the pigtails and tie into TV shows and film and art, because you as an actress, I know that art is embedded in your soul. It's your life. It's everything. What was your first introduction to sisterhood on screen, if you have any? TV, film, or even a play?
Yes. First of all, Waiting to Exhale has to be the first. Girl, listen. That movie was the first time that I saw Black women occupy so many different spaces at once.
Yes,
they were successful, vulnerable, funny, messy,
very
heartbroken, mad as hell.
Yes.
Ambitious. They weren't reduced to one thing. And when I watched that as a little baby blossom, I just knew I was gonna have a sisterhood like theirs. I just knew it. They set a standard as to this is how women in my life should show up. These are what the women in my life should even look like. I like how they were all successful in their respective right, and still when they came together, even you had one person going through divorce, one trying to find love, but no one was hating on the other person. No one was saying oh, but like, what about me? It was just like, we're all in this together no matter what. you know, now I'm around their age and I'm like, now that I'm looking at it with adult lens, I'm like, oh, so not only did they have a beautiful sisterhood, but now I understand what made it so beautiful. Because it was the sacrifices. It was loving your friends through heartbreak. It was helping them try to figure out their career and purpose while still wanting love, while still wanting a family one day, and navigating all of that together. And then there was A Different World, which, by the way, is one of my favorite sitcoms, if not my favorite television sitcom of all time. And I know some people will say Martin, some people will say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Living Single is mine.
Living Single, yes. A lot of people say that. But you know, A Different World was first. No shade. But
no, there's no shade whatsoever. You are absolutely right. Hey, there is no shade. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm playing. But you know, it's so funny because I'm really excited for the reboot, but I'm also a little sad because one of my dream roles was to be Whitley and Dwayne's daughter. Because and I mean, it's so on brand on a personal note, because I always felt like I have Whitley's ambition and her confidence and her artistic abilities
and her shade. I had to say.
But moving on. But I also love Dwayne's steadiness. I feel like I have that. You know, my Taurus moon taps into that, and intellect. You know, I was an engineering student in high school, and I built robots and used to compete against them. And I got a partial scholarship, almost a full ride to USC just for my science fair project. So, I mean, it's so spot on. So when I found out that they were doing the reboot, I campaigned for it. I really did.
I remember.
And when I didn't get it, I was a little heartbroken. But I digress. I just want you guys to know like how invested and how much I love the characters. But particularly, I love seeing the relationship between Whitley and Kim. You know, their friendships have stayed with me. For personal reasons, because I love the fact that Whitley and Kim, they chose each other despite being completely different.
Very different.
They were like night and day, you know?
Yes.
Like, you know, Kim was very studious, more disciplined, you know, more grounded, more, you know, down to earth. And Whitley had to learn that eventually. She was, you know, she started out very
She didn't start off that way.
Very ignorant to, you know, just certain like cultural standards and ways of, you know, just being as Black women. She had to learn that. She had to be humble in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
But that reminds me so much of my friendship with so I had a friend that I met second grade. It was second grade we met. And I always say that she was literally the Gail to my Oprah. And what I loved about that, because, you know, she was, you know, she was very cool, and, you know, I was very much, you know, welcome, hi, do you want to be friends? Like, you know, and she was just like, girl, what's going on with this crackhead energy? What is going on with this?
It's too much. It's too much, right?
Why are you doing too much? But you know, she accepted me for exactly as I was, and I never felt like I had to shrink my personality or
tone it down. Right.
Tone down who I was. I never felt like I had to do that. She just got me, and so when that friendship ended in 2014, it was like a death. It genuinely broke something in me. Yeah. And I think, you know, cousin, if I'm being honest, I think there's a part of me that has been hesitant to let another woman get that close to me, because she was the one that knew everything. All my secrets, like everything, all my secrets, my weaknesses, like
I mean, your rawest form.
My rawest form.
Bare naked. Yes.
Bare naked, you know, and I don't think that, even though I have genuine, beautiful friendships, I still don't think that I've let a woman get that close. Not because I don't want sisterhood. Let's be clear.
Exactly.
I just think that once you've experienced losing someone that you knew deeply, and in your mind, it's just inseparable.
Yeah.
Inseparable. Your heart quietly starts saying, maybe let's not let anybody all the way in again. Maybe let's not do it. And I've been having to intentionally unlearn that. But you know, Whitley and Kim's relationship reminded me a lot of me and my friendship with her. And I still miss her. And the weird thing about that is that, you know, it's not like she like died in the physical, but it was like I'm still mourning that death because of the way in which she accepted all of me, flaws and all, you know. And then lastly, there's Girlfriends. I mean, we gotta talk about the show. Yeah, shout out to Angie Stone. She, oh my gosh, but also shout out to Joan, because I mean everybody has that character that they feel like they are. Like for me, it's like, oh, I'm Joan, I'm her, I'm her. Oh my goodness, Joan is me. I am absolutely that friend who's trying to hold everybody together. I'm checking in. I'm planning your birthday. I remember every little teeny incy bit of details about you. I'm making sure everybody feels included. But with that, I've also had to learn that I cannot be the glue in every relationship. We all need glue. Pass the glue sticks out. You get a glue stick. You get a glue stick. You get a glue stick. I need the glue stick in all of our hands to hold this bad boy together. That was a lesson that I learned just by watching her and her character, because she had to get to that part. And then when she started to evolve, her friends resisted that because they were so used to her being the glue.
Exactly. They got comfortable. You know? When you get comfortable, you get stuck in that, because you're like, okay, now I have to adjust who I am to, because now my friend's adjusting, and I'm like, wait, now I have to adjust because I'm so used to playing this specific part in our friendship, but now that she's changing, I'm not comfortable with the change because I didn't agree to this, but now I have to. And that's how it should be, is I need to be able to meet my friend where she's at, but that's not always what happens. And then that's when you get the whole, like, you know, Tony and Joan not having the proper conversations they should have had to kind of mend what they were both going through at the same time. They just need to have a communication thing. I'm like, why are we not talking? Why are we not having the communication? To piggyback off of what you said about Girlfriends and how you're Joan, I find when I was younger, I felt like I was like a little bit of everybody. Now that I'm older, I feel like I'm very much Maya.
You are, and you are the Maya in the group. So with that said, oh hell yes, you
that
are.
That part. Okay, so good. Is there anything else that you want to talk about Girlfriends or another TV show or film that Sisterhood was like, oh my God, they did it so well, representing it perfectly for you in your journey?
I do, but I want to get to it later because I know that you're going to bring up a certain topic that I'm saving this show for. I feel like you know what show this is. I'll give you a hint. Okay. HBO. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I feel like we're gonna get into. I feel like I know, but if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be really upset. But anyways, so my next question is about what makes female friendships seem truthful and authentic versus sometimes performative, where they're just making everything seem so glossy and not real and like true representation. Have you like come across that like while you're watching things or like reading things or anything like that?
Well, first of all, I think that truthful female friendships make room for difficult conversations. I see that a lot with, you know, white friendships depicted on screen, white female friendships depicted on screen, where they have difficult conversations, but there's emotional safety embedded into that. And I don't see enough of those difficult conversations with the added element of emotional safety happening enough with Black female friendships on TV. And maybe that's just because emotional safety is everything to me. You know, it's about, because for me, it's about what happens after I tell a female friend that, hey, I've been sitting with something, you know, for a minute now that has touched me deeply and it's hurt. And then what they do with that information. Because what I see on TV often is like the quick rebuttal or the, you know, the dismissal or the, you know, the tact avoidant response to that. I I recently had an experience with someone that I really loved. She's older than me, and in my sibling squad, I am the eldest girl, right? So I really look to her like a big sister. And there were some things that I shared with her a few months ago that really left me feeling a little bit vulnerable. And over time I had realized that I didn't tell her about these things. It goes back to that conversation that we were having earlier about how we take so much time, we invest so much time learning our friends. But I think what can happen is that because we invest so much time learning them, we sort of adapt to what we know about them.
Yes.
And so it puts us in a situation where we are suppressing a little bit of our emotions just because we can already foresee how they're going to respond to it. So, I sent her a voice message, and I was trying to set up some time for us to catch up so we can have a conversation. And I felt like she was avoiding me, like she was dodging me. And so it left me no choice but to say all these things in a voice note. I would have rather us have been on the phone or in person.
Yeah.
But I couldn't wait anymore. And it was how she responded. It was her essentially saying, your feelings have nothing to do with me. I love you, but I'm focused on my goals. And I just remember sitting there heartbroken because not because she was busy, not because she had goals. We all have goals, but I was heartbroken because I realized that, okay, we're not having the same conversation. Nor do we have the same intentions.
Exactly.
I was reaching for connection. She was responding to the logistics. So that experience taught me something that I don't think I'll ever forget. And I think, a relationship can't deepen if one person is always willing to have the hard conversation.
Absolutely.
And the other person keeps walking around it. And that's what I see in a lot of the Black female friendship moments on TV and film. And so I feel like, to me, to answer your question, what separates performative friendship from authentic friendship would have said in that moment, oh, tell me more. I didn't realize you were experiencing that. So help me understand where this is coming from versus, your feelings doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we'll agree. It doesn't mean that we'll stay friends, but it means that the relationship should be important enough to sit in the discomfort together. And I want to see more of that. And also as an actress, I think that's why I love watching, those female friendships on screen that aren't polished.
Yes.
Like, give me the argument, give me the misunderstanding, but also I want to see the repair. Give me that.
Yes.
Because I think in the repair, that's where the real intimacy lives.
Absolutely.
It's not in the sugarcoating. It's in the brutal, blatant honesty.
Absolutely.
Give me that.
Period. Yeah, I think a lot of things highlight always just the drama and the downfall and just like the messiness of it, just to keep people intrigued. Like, ooh, that's messy. But like you said, we don't get the repair. We don't get the other side of like, okay, this can actually still work out despite it. Because sometimes you do need to get messy. Sometimes you do got to yell at your sister. I'm pro arguing sometimes. And of course, healthy argument, not us being disrespectful and degrading, but allow anger to be in a relationship. Allow anger to exist as an emotion, because it's an emotion we all feel. And I feel like the trope of it isn't healthy, and I think we need more of just a healthy anger trope of like, we're allowed to be angry, we're allowed to disagree, we're allowed to get a little loud, we're allowed to get sassy, we're allowed to even say things we don't necessarily mean, and then we're allowed to say, hey, I am truly sorry, and be authentic in your apology of being a messy human being for a second. Because I think, again, it's like this, like, perfectionism has to exist with Sisterhood, and it shouldn't. And it really shouldn't exist. It's like, this is not the space for us to be perfect. It's a space for me to be flawed for a second. But at the end of the day, like, if you truly love somebody, and I think you show the love, like you said, like in like those little moments, like the everyday things, just like the, hey, I was thinking about you. Hey, I saw this and I thought of you. Hey, I heard you were looking for something. Let me send you some links to this, X, Y, and Z. And I feel like if that's the foundation and it's authentic on both ends, you can have that messy moment. You can have that argument and then still be like, girl, I need 5 minutes. Let me circle back and we can talk it out.
who does that well, and this is the show that I wanted to bring to you. Insecure.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Insecure. I think they were so revolutionary with exactly what you're talking about, because it was funny, sure, but and yes, it was about dating, but to me, the heart
it was about Molly
and
Issa
and Molly.
Yes.
Because here it is, we're watching two women that deeply loved each other, but they also deeply hurt each other.
Yes.
And then they made the intentional decision to rebuild the relationship, and that's rare. We rarely saw that happening on TV. Let's just be honest. You know,
all the time
they friend get high and tight and then tased.
They stayed arguing. They stayed beefing. And it's funny because I'm actually in my Insecure rewatch mode right now. And the last episode I watched was Issa and Molly attempting to reconcile. So it's after like the big episode where it's like Lawrence and Issa have their whole episode where it's beautifully done and we love it. And then the episode right after is when her and Molly have brunch or whatever. And then like Molly texts Issa by accident saying, you see, like I'm trying with her, and they have that whole blowout. And then by the end of the season, we get to them sitting down and actually having that conversation. And so it's very fresh in my mind. And as I was watching it, I was like, wow, I haven't seen this since. I can't, and we've had, you know, other TV shows and stuff, but I'm like, I haven't seen this again. Like this real, like raw, messy tension all the time, trying to figure out like, yo, I love you, but like, I don't like you right now. And because that's the thing, I can love you and not like you. And I think that's what it is. I feel like they would always love each other, but they didn't like where they were. They didn't know how to communicate. And I also love that, like, I feel like they always highlight reconciliation with a man is always an easier thing. Romantic relationships are always an easy reconciliation, repair. But I'm like, what about the friendships and the friendship breakups? Because those hurt. And those hurt a lot longer than a man. I'm just going to say personally for me, I can get over a man pretty easily. Getting over a friendship breakup takes a lot of time and hard work personally, especially if you have to do that stuff alone. That's a lot of work.
It is. And I think that Issa was also trying to display that level of friendship amongst Black women in rap shit, but they didn't give it a chance. But what I love is that they were exploring it on the side of ambition between friends.
Yes.
Like, can two Black women chase the same dream without becoming enemies? Like, that's also a conversation we don't have enough of.
No.
Because we're always talking about, oh, let's get this money, let's go get this bag together. But it's very easy to try to achieve those level of goals and then let other people come inside your relationships. Or you let the ego, or you let, you know, your inner saboteur cause you to damage the friendship before it can even like evolve to the next level, or even or for you to even get to the bag together. So I think you know, rap shit is another one that I was really into, but dang, man, they did not let that show cook.
No, they didn't give it a chance. No,
I was so upset about that. And they left us on a real good cliffhanger. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
God. The business of television is always so disrespectful to the art of it. I'm like, you've created a story, you've established an audience. Why?
Girl.
Why? Tell them that is human nature. Let me stop. But I love what you said about Black women friendships and ambition, because then it makes me think of one of my phenomenal things. And I know this is also not touchy, but I know it's gonna, when I say the name of this film / musical, Dreamgirls, and that display of ambition and female friendships and what that looks like. And you know, so, and Dreamgirls is one of my personal favorites just because, you know, it's just Dreamgirls, like why not?
Mine too!
One of my personal favorites. Oh my goodness. Cannot wait for the play. So excited.
It's not like one of our staples.
Yes.
Iconic staples, that's why I love it. It's the story about friendship and the ambition between friends.
Yep. And I think it echoes the whole about how the outside voices and the other people that come along with all this ambition. And once you do reach your goals, how it's no longer just these three girls with a dream. It's these three girls with a dream plus a manager, plus a manager's ego, plus a production team, plus a recorded, plus the audience, plus you add all these extra layers, and there's not space for them to know how to handle that, because it's like, well, we want success. That's the goal, right? But it's like, okay, but how do you maintain the safety and the sanctity of the sisterhood that started this in the first place? And that's why a lot of people talk about how girl groups don't really last nowadays, because it's like it started off here, and it started off just being about the music and how, you know, where our chemistry and our collaboration and our flow and our synchronicity and all that stuff. And then when all the outside stuff comes in, it all starts getting messy. So I always wonder, like, you know, the early stages, so like me, like how me and Nace have like this YouTube channel, we've collaborated a lot, but we always have, before we start anything, we have the conversation of how are we going to not allow success to get to like rip us apart? And I've always been intentional, like I personally would give up the success to keep my sister, because that has been my girl. She is my right hand, she is my everything. And I'm like, if I truly had to pick, I have to pick my sister, because that's the thing that's going to last forever. Success is temporary. Everyone has their moment, everyone has their phase, everyone has it, and then it calms down, it dies down, it's not there anymore. Who are you going to call late at night when you're by yourself and all the lights are gone and your makeup's off and you're not on stage and you depressed, or you this or you that? You need that, you know. So
okay. And it's not gonna be Curtis, okay?
that part.
Talking about Curtis was supposed to love you.
Curtis was supposed to love me.
Curtis didn't ever love you. He was never
Curtis
intended to love you.
Curtis don't love nobody but
and
his
that's what I'm
damn
saying.
self.
And even with that, but his god darn self, his mother plucking self. Okay, and that's the thing. It's just like, okay, even with Dreamgirls, we're seeing that these girls would have been fine had it wouldn't been for this man coming in and just
that part, messing everything up,
plucking up the church's money.
Everything up.
He would have been fine. So it's like, okay, our friendship is tight until a man gets involved. Enough of those stories. We done been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Let's see something else on TV, please.
That part.
Like, let's decenter men out of female friendship stories.
We got that on DVD, okay? That is my go-to feel good. That is my movie. Verbatim. I listen to the soundtrack in my car when I wake up in the morning sometimes.
Iconic.
Listen, don't play with me.
Girl, sometimes I wake up in the morning. This is how I rise out of bed. I be like, got me a Cadillac. Girl, that's
Cadillac. Me a Cadillac car. Eddie did his thing.
Yes.
We can have a whole Dreamgirls conversation. That's another video for another time. We can, and we shall. I'm putting that in the universe. So moving out of just like the TV, film, beautiful space and bringing it back to just like our everyday personal lives. So you lifted off a bunch of names of all your friends and your sisters and all the things, and I'm so happy to be part of that. And we talked about how proximity doesn't equate connection all of the time. And we talk about like how our schedules can sometimes just stop us from like being connected and things like that. For anyone that's like watching and feels like making because I do call it an excuse, making the excuse that like, oh, I just don't have time for anything. What would you say to them about the intentionality of keeping friendships alive despite proximity, despite us being busy, despite this era that we're in where people feel disconnected or feel like it's hard to make friendships and to sustain friendships? What would you say?
Oh, wow. First of all, you should have been a journalist. These questions are so deeply thought-provoking and so necessary to ask. You know, for a long time, I really thought that showing up meant doing more, planning more, checking in more, holding everybody together, that Joan archetype. Now, I think that nurturing friendships is less about performing love and more about presence, just practical presence. What I mean by that is, okay, yeah, it's remembering the birthdays, it's sending that random voice note, you know, just because your friend crossed your mind and you're checking in, and it's celebrating the little wins, not just the big, but it's also it's about becoming much better at telling people how to consider you. Like teaching people how to be your friend. You know, because we talk about nurturing friendships, but I think a big part of that is really articulating to people how you want to be nurtured in a friendship. We consider other people first before we consider our feelings. I know for me personally, that hasn't been easy. Sometimes it's not even easy for me to tell people when they've hurt my feelings. You know, anybody, I mean, you know this, but I'm currently in what I call people to the carpet era. You know, because the resentment that women hold is the reason why the friendships don't survive. And what people need to understand is that resentment is expensive and not a lot of us can afford it.
No.
And so I'd rather have one uncomfortable conversation than to carry silent disappointment for years. And there's something else I've also learned too. Community isn't something you find once. Okay, so that community that you thought was going to be around for a long time didn't work out. But just because you've lost one doesn't mean you can't have it again. Exactly. It is something you will and you can cultivate over and over and over again. I remember going to a birthday party gathering this year, and I was incredibly anxious about it, Joy, because, you know, old friendship wounds.
Yes.
They just kept convincing me that I was always just going to be adjacent to community. I wasn't going to be rooted in community no matter how much I desire it. And I almost let it psych me out, and I almost didn't go. I'm going to just be honest, I almost didn't go. But I did. And girl, when I tell you I danced, I laughed, I made other people laugh, I reconnected, I made new friends. You know, healing sometimes looks like showing up anyway. Just show up.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way to do it. And when you're trying to nurture these friendships, just show up, but show up the best you can. And if you can't, be honest about that. And if you feel like someone's not showing up enough for you, be honest about that.
Yeah. That part. Yeah, and I think something you said that stuck with me that I'm still also learning is teaching people how to be your friend. But I think that also requires people to know themselves as well. Because people just because it's easy to make friends when you're a kid. Because life hasn't life yet. And you're just in a space of, you know, school, playground, after school programs, everything's kind of just like a structured place to just have these type of friendships. But when you get older, you have like more free will, you have more stuff in your life that you're carrying, you have all these things, and we're also constantly changing as well. So also relearning yourself and relearning like, what actually do I need from my friends, and which friends are able to provide that? Because also, like, not every friend is meant to be that person that you call when you're having a bad day. There's also be some discernment in.
I was gonna say, you gotta,
you know,
yeah.
Go ahead.
You gotta put people. You gotta put your friends in different clusters.
Yes, and that's not a bad thing. And I feel like people make it seem like it's a bad thing.
You can't. Know? Well, I thought it was a bad thing. You know, I had to learn that no, it prevents disappointment. It prevents the resentment that sometimes we carry by ourselves. You have to be honest about what friends can handle certain things and what friends can only handle surface level things. Yes. And it's just, once you understand that, then that's half the battle right there.
You're good. Yeah.
It is.
For sure. So what advice would you give women that are in a space of not knowing whether it's time to keep a friendship going by having the hard conversation, or it's time to just let it go? And also, how do you let it go? Because also, personally, I don't know about you, Brittaney, I've always been broken up with as a friend. I don't know what this says about me, but and I'll say it might be my Taurusness. My Taurus doesn't allow me to let go quickly. Like, I'm a very loyal, sticking through the hard times. We're gonna push past this until they do something extremely crazy to me. I'm still gonna stick it out because I accept people fully flawed. That's just who I am. So I'm just like, okay, they messed up, but it's okay. So most of my friendships have ended because other people have decided they're done with the friendship, they're done with the effort. And so I'm curious if you've been on the opposite side of ending the friendship, and what advice you would give to people who don't know which way to go, but are leaning towards possibly ending the friendship, but doing it in a way that's, I guess, healthy. Because also, how do you do a friendship breakup that's healthy? I don't know, because I don't do it. So let me know. And you sipping tea, so I feel like you're about to say a word. So let me sit back.
You know, I feel like as a Virgo, one of my toxic traits is being able to have a very casual conversation with somebody, knowing that I'm about to cut them off in 24 hours or less. That's something that I do really well. I think I've obtained a master's degree in it.
I love that.
But the reason why I can do it is because I spent a lot of time reflecting on the relationship and trying to repair it. And when I feel like it gets to a point where I've been repairing it by myself and I'm not receiving any assistance, I have rods in my back. I can't carry anything too heavy. So if it gets to the point where it's too heavy for me, I have no choice but to release it. So that's what makes it easy. But to answer your question, stop auditioning. Stop auditioning. And this is coming from an actress. But stop auditioning. I think so many of us walk into rooms asking, okay, what version of me will they like? What version of me can they handle? What version of me will they accept? When really you should be asking, do I actually like the people in this room? Can I vibe with these people in this room? Can I actually be myself here?
Yes.
In this room?
Yes.
You know, so the right people don't make you earn belonging. So for me, it's easy to let go when I realize that you have put me in a position to chase. And that's not what I was created to do. That's not my mission, sweetie. Like, I'm not here to beg you to accept me. Just because you and your hairstylist kiki in the salon before you pay her, no shade. You know,
That's
like
right.
it doesn't automatically make her your sister.
Yes.
It doesn't automatically make you her sister. Just because we worked on one project together doesn't automatically mean you and I have invested time, energy, space, consistency, love into our vulnerability, into our sisterhood that we've cultivated that together. That took time. You spoke about that. You know, it takes trust. It takes time. It takes repair. You know, and the last thing I'll say is choose friends for you who clap when you win. Not because it's polite, not because it's expected, but because your joy genuinely makes them happy.
Exactly.
You know, these are the people that are priceless. And if you're not feeling that way about the people around you, it should be easy for you to let it go. And if you can't, it's because you continue to audition for a callback in their life. Well, guess what? You get no callback. So then what now?
On that part, honestly, we're going to wrap this up. That's a word. I knew you were going to end on a sermon. That's why I was like, let me save this last question. Thank you, Brittaney Delsarté Chatman, my friend, my sister, my cousin, my love, for chatting with me. This has been...
Thank you for just mutually choosing me, because I choose you. I choose you every time, every day.